Howdy folks, it's the Creepy Kentuckian here with you from DEADPIT Radio. Today I am revisiting a movie that I have not seen since the theatrical release. A lot of you guys remember our initial DEADPIT on the road review to Brian Bertino's The Strangers from 2008. You can go back in the archive, check that review out. It didn't hit with me then. It didn't. I was not a fan. I didn't hate it. I don't think I hated it. But it just, I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. And sometimes I like to go back and rewatch some of these movies that didn't hit home with me initially to see if my opinion may have been changed over the years with this one. The Strangers, like I said, gigantic hit when it came out initially in 2008. Heavily inspired by the French horror film Ils, aka Them, which we also reviewed as well. And is evidently inspired as well by some true events. Now, what exactly those events are, up for debate. I think you can go online and, there's some theories on what real life events, like it says in the beginning of The Strangers, was based on. Anyway, Second Sight Films recently came out with a standard edition Strangers Blu-ray. A lot of you guys may remember they did a limited edition with the very hard box that came out a few months back. And I missed out on that one, so I was like, hey, let's check this out. I know that there's another release or two coming down the pike for The Strangers, as always. This is a very well-loved, well-liked movie, and there's always going to be new editions of it as well. I'm hoping for the special underwear head edition with the replica mask, aka the underwear that goes over the disc. We can always hope for that at some point, but pretty killer edition here from Second Sight Films. We want to take a look at the movie again and then dig into the special features within it and let you guys know, is this edition of The Strangers one that you'll want to get to know? Director Brian Bertino brought us The Strangers in 2008. It's based on true events that supposedly took place a few years earlier. A young couple come home from a party one night, their vacation home that's isolated in the woods. These two characters, played by Liv Tyler and Scott Speakman, are staying together, like I said, this isolated vacation home in the country. One morning, about 4 a.m., they get a knock on their door. Very confused young girl is asking, is Tamara here? And of course, as we know, Tamara is not there, but they don't care. They're there, and they're ready. Group of 3 intruders, the Strangers, of course, are there to make Kristen and James, that's Liv Tyler and Scott Speedman's character, their lives a living hell. Will they escape this night in the country, or will the hands of the Strangers cause their early demise? Pretty decent build up for the first 30 minutes. Some great visual filmmaking in The Strangers. You will never listen to Merle Haggard's classic Mama Tried ever again without thinking of this scene in the movie. So it's a crazy home invasion film. Like I said, around this time period, the French horror movement was pretty huge. Ils was a big movie in France, and that led to the U.S. version coming out, essentially, very close to the same movie. This movie, I still feel the same way, man. I don't think that my hatred for it is as strong as I thought it would be. The first half hour or so, now this is only like an 87-minute movie. First half hour or so of this is actually really, the buildup is really, really great. I think the last hour of the movie, it really drags a lot. And Liv Tyler's character, Kristen, is more or less just annoying, right? Actually, both of the characters, James and Kristen, in my opinion, I just didn't I didn't feel for them at all. I didn't care. That's not to say, though, that this movie is a total bust. Actually, the 2018 sequel, Pray at Night, I enjoy more than this movie. But this one is very well made. Like I said, a great visual film. It does set a mood in the very beginning of the movie that does not let up. So it's a good enough edition, guys. I'm not a gigantic fan of the movie. This particular edition is amazing, though, and I know that there's a lot of fans of The Strangers out there, and there's a few different versions of this movie that are at our disposal to check out. Second Sight Films, and this is my rule, this is just me, if they have a version of a movie out, the Second Sight Films version is the one that you want to own. They are one of my favorite boutique labels. So if you see The Strangers out there, and I know this is a Blu-ray, I know that there's a 4K on its way from another studio who will remain nameless. This one looks killer. I would have thought that this was a 4K. It looks that good. It is loaded up with some exclusive extras that are only on this edition so far that I can find out. We're going to go through the extras. Also, like I said, this is pretty much your basic bitch edition. One disc, no booklet, no other goodies or anything that you would get in the limited edition. There is 2 different cuts of the movie in here as well, a theatrical edition and a extended edition. It's not extended by very much, I mean, to be honest with you. At any rate, let's get into some of the special features included on this. You do get brand new interviews with director Brian Bertino, editor Kevin Grutert, actress Liv Tyler, and actor Laura Margolis. All of those are separate one-on-one interviews. There is the Elements of Terror interviews with the cast and crew, Strangers at the Door and interviews with Brian Bertino and cast, deleted scenes, and theatrical trailer. This is a killer edition, guys. If you're a fan of this movie, if you wanted the ultimate edition of this movie, in my opinion, with the extras, the 2 different cuts of the movie and everything, there's a great video quality as well. This is one that you will not want to sleep on. The Strangers is out now from Second Sight Films. It's a great edition, guys. If you're a fan of the movie, you will definitely want to check it out. And be sure to check us out. We're over at DEADPIT.com. Is Tamara home? I'd like to tell people to thumbs up the video, Uncle Bill.
Would you?
Yes. Thumbs it up with violence and fury and just love everything about it. Right, Uncle Bill?
Yeah. You hit the heart button, then you hit the ass button, then you can hit the go fuck yourself button. Follow that up with the I don't give a shit button.
There's all kinds of wonderful shirts over at shop.deadpit.com. Simply the best horror shirts. On TeePublic, there are others, but they all suck. You can get some Dead Pit Radio shirts. You can get Last South on the Left. The Hills Have Eyes. Texas Chainsaw. Oh, wait, you can't say Texas Chainsaw. All kinds of shirts, folks. You're gonna love them. Shop.deadpit.com.
Special thanks goes out to our supporters on Patreon. Do you know what kind of stuff you can get on Patreon, Uncle Bill, starting at only $1 a month?
What's that?
Access to every Dead Pit show since 2005. We got almost 200 fan commentaries that we've done over the decades.
We have a literal jukebox full of songs and thousands of reviews. I don't even know how many shows are up on there now that we've done over the years.
Hundreds of thousands.
You need to figure this out now and subscribe to us on Patreon and YouTube and Instagram and help us to 1 million. The road to 1 million subscribers starts today.
So DeadPit on Patreon.com. Join today. Tiers start at only $1, but I'd recommend at least the $10 tier.
You can do 50. The stock market's crashing around us, folks, but send us money.